Okay, Scotty, I just realized I didn't finish my ending to this sketch because I was typing the very end as you were walking up, and I was like, oh, I'll just ask him for some clarification. And then now that we're rolling, I can't.
Well, let's just come up with it here.
Yes. So we are joined once again by Scotty, the cursed Leonard himself.
The cursing and swearing, darn and heck are my two favorite words, actually.
And Balderdash and
rats.
You're a fibber. You're a big old fibber.
Shut the front door is what I say. So anyway, you were ready to get on with this fucking podcast?
Yeah, this fucking podcast. Welcome to the fucking podcast. I think we should start with missionary.
Do it and die, as we like to say. Anyway, so this is my dear host, Brett. He's here.
Yep.
Paul. I was thinking about Brett, who's not here.
I was thinking I was actually a deer, like a deer host.
Wow, that's what it is.
Deer in the headlights host.
Yeah, yep. All right, so anyway, back to...
So, I guess we'll just jump into ideas, man, unless you got something of importance. Have you been working on anything we should know about, or?
At the moment, it's all pretty secret. We're still working on that Route 66 thing. Give us till November, but I've got some other things that are going to be released eventually, so we'll find out.
And we were just talking about maybe, I don't know if it would be like a sketch idea, but like for me and you to work on something animated might be kind of cool.
Oh, yes,
because you're an animator.
I am an animator. I make animations, but I was about to say good animations, but that's a stretch.
We'll stick with animations for now.
I make animations. Imagine we just animate this entire podcast, but it's just
my God.
three photos. There's just one with me with my mouth open, one with your mouth open, and us with both our mouths closed. And that's just the whole thing.
Yeah, dude.
That's a lot of time, actually. I take
3 pictures? Let's just knock it down to 2.
Yeah. What if it's just every like half second, it's like it just goes between like us like looking normal and like and it just like kind of like just flashes between that.
I've done it where I would take like a narration and then I would analyze the waveform and then turn the waveform into keyframes. So like you take the intensity of the audio, turn it into like a distance keyframe so that the louder it is, the further the keyframe is. And then you can take just a mouth at where a mouth should be as 0.
Yeah.
And then a mouth fully open at the loudest.
Yeah.
And then however loud they're talking, it'll animate as loud. Like if they say something like, bah, like their mouth will go all the way down. And when it's quiet, their mouth will be shut. So it's like a way of like automating the animation like that.
That's the best idea I've ever heard. And like, I'm not kidding. Like, that's amazing.
I did it because one of my coworkers wanted to put their friend into the Ferris Bueller scene where he's on the float.
Yeah.
Like, shake it up, baby, now. And they were like, can you animate her face singing? I was like, that's a shit ton of work. And they're like, yeah, but you can do it. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's not going to be amazing, but I'll do like as good as I can. So I found like a way of saving me from manually doing it.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't want to do that good of a job for this person I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I came up with that. And I think I know I found a tutorial. Like it's not my own idea, but it was my idea to like, if there was a way to analyze the audio and then make it, and then I searched for that and I found out how to do it. So it was like my idea to do it, but not my idea how I did it.
That's fantastic. That's a really cool idea. Let's do that. What if we just do an entire animated sketch, but it's just one guy just giving a monologue and nothing moves but his mouth?
Dude, we're onto something.
Or maybe
it's like I think the future of cinematic storytelling is simple and people won't think it's one of those things that it's so good because people don't think it's good.
Yeah, it's kind of like South Park. Like it's just the concepts. Honestly, the concepts. Okay, may not be the most popular opinion, but South Park is sometimes good and sometimes like, wow, you guys obviously had 1 week to make an entire episode, which is
6
fun.
days
or 6 days, whatever. But it's fine. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, okay, I guess you guys did that. That's cool.
No, yeah, some definitely hit and some definitely miss.
But yeah. Anyway, I heard you had an idea.
Yeah, well, I'm still on South Park, so
oh, okay.
there was this. I started coming up with this idea, and then I realized I'm pretty sure South Park just is like a running joke in South Park, and it's the idea that Cartman pretends like he knows how sex works, or whatever, and he just ends up saying like, "Oh yeah," and then I stick it in her butt, or like. Or then I pee on her, or whatever that.
You pee in her,
and then you pee on
episode.
her. and yeah, I was like, if me and Scotty, like if
pee in each other.
I was just thinking, if Brett and I were talking to each other, and Scotty's like, you guys, I got a date, but I have to come clean. Like, I've never been with a girl, and I'm not sure. And me and Brett are like, oh, totally. Oh, yeah, we'll help you out. And it's clear that we haven't either.
And you're like, everyone's like just sweating.
Yeah. Like we're like, so first thing you're going to do is like smell her, and then you let her smell you.
What if like I've got like a little like thing in my ear, like a little
earpiece?
Yeah, earpiece. And you guys are just like watching with binoculars through the window, like, all right, and you're just like trying to come up with things.
If we read her lips and she was like, do you want to come back to my place? And she says, tell me how bad is my face. I'm like, oh, tell her, oh, so bad. Like girls like it when you like nudge them.
I'm like, so bad.
Oh, that would work, because then you're telling her
like, do you want to come back? And you're like, so bad.
Yeah, so bad. Oh, so bad.
What
Let me tell you,
accidentally
that'd be amazing. Yeah, we accidentally solve all your girl problems.
That really sounds like a lot of fun. I would love to do that.
That's just one of those things where it's a really good idea, but depending on the quality of ideas we can come up for it, like it has so much potential.
Actual porn.
It can will be like cinema verite porn, where people think it's like a sketch comedy video, and it just turns into like a real life porn based on Scotty's sex life.
It's just like sad, and there's a lot of crying. So also I had this idea one time. This is not a real idea, but I had this idea it would be a porn starring comedians. And the porn would last until the girl began to laugh. So the comedians are just trying to make the girl laugh the whole time. God. And it's like, if it's not very funny, then they have to like keep going and like, but then if they're really funny, it's like, well, I guess it's like a 20-second long video. Oops, like that's what happens.
That sucks, because it gets harder, no pun intended, the longer it goes, because it's like once you feel the dead in the room when you're a comedian, like it's so hard to come back from that. Like once you can feel the laughter sucked out of the room, like you can never bring it back.
Yeah,
and then just. I almost like threw up there. Like what just happened
That's
to me?
That's a good porn.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. So I have two ideas.
Okay.
So let me tell you a little something about sometimes how I come up with things. I'll have one idea where, for example, the one I'm about to pitch has to do with Paul and Scotty sitting playing games and having like pizza.
Okay. I like this
and then like
so far.
As I like developed that idea, I was like, ooh, I have another idea. But then it of course just starts with Paul and Scotty sitting playing games having pizza, because it stemmed from the same like idea. So I have a problem like distinguishing those two from being different, entirely separate ideas.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like whenever I pitch some stuff, it's like, oh, and this one who's like, it's like a sister sketch of this one. It's because I'm lazy and I didn't want to commit to only one idea, so I kind of just branched it out.
It's just two different. Okay.
Yeah. So my first video games pizza Scotty sketch.
Ooh, I like this.
Is Paul and Scotty sitting down playing games, Mario Kart or lick each other's butt, whatever we happen to be playing.
They're my two favorite games, actually.
A doorbell rings, and me and Scotty, get all excited, and we run to the door.
Yeah.
And it's the pizza guy.
Okay.
I jumped ahead. We don't have pizza yet. We're just playing games.
All right. So we're like, pizza!
When we already have pizza. So pizza comes after just games.
Yeah.
And we're all excited, and we're eating pizza.
Yeah.
And then Scotty's like, oh, man, living in your dad's basement is pretty freaking cool sometimes, I'm not like a deep guy normally, but when the doorbell rings, like for the pizza, like where does that sound come from? And then like I stop eating. I'm like, whoa, dude. And then it's just this harsh cut to us like punching through drywall and like pulling wires out, and like Scotty's up on a ladder. And he's like up like where by the doorbell, and he's like peeled like the drywall all the way up to like the wires. I don't know how we're gonna film this.
So let's just shoot this right before you move out.
Yeah. and it's gonna be you're like on the ladder like ripping shit out, and then you have like a handful of wires, and it's like red, green, and black wires, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, test, and then I go ding, 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 and then you clip one, and you're like, okay, test, ding, 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 okay, that's not it, okay, and then it's like test, ding, 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 clips another wire, ding, 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 that's not it, shit, I don't know what it is, man. And we just like cut all these wires in the wall, and we're just like I'm in the backyard and be like, how about this? And you hear like electricity crackle or something, and then you're like, ding, 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 ding. No, man, still going. Ding, 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 ding. I have no idea, man. Ding, 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 ding. And then we just hear the voice of Dad. It says, stop ringing the damn doorbell. Go in the basement, you idiots. Go play some video games or order a pizza like some normal kids. That's it.
That's just it.
Just like go order a pizza. And then like a pizza is what caused this problem in the first place.
Yeah, sure. And then like, oh, okay, so then we order another pizza. We're like, oh, sure, Dad. And then like we're like another one comes, and then like we're eating the pizza again, and I'm like, I'm not normally that deep of a guy, but, and then it just cuts.
If we could do, what's another like pizza related thing that can be just way more dangerous than just doorbell sounds, where it's like
where does the pizza guy come from? And then we're just like pulling the pizza guy's like
truck
intestines out.
How are humans like able to deliver stuff? What is in them?
They're just like covered in blood,
dude. I kind of love that dark twist of just like, how does pizza guy work? Like, we love this guy.
We're like, hi, pizza guy.
Just think of Shaun of the Dead when they just rip apart whatever his name is, Daffy.
Yeah.
Oh. We can do those effects. We get Catherine to do.
Dude, yeah. We could just get like, some
real
like
effects.
Meat and sausage and like.
I got the sausage covered.
Yeah. Oh, because you got some in your fridge or something? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Well,
so yeah, that's
I've
just
got the blood covered.
You got so much blood in you?
Yeah. I also have fake blood in my house.
So the thing is, like, it's legal. Wait, so you can donate your blood.
Yes.
But you can't sell your blood? Like, can you sell your blood?
Because the thing is plasma, I think, or like you get paid to donate plasma.
But they pull out the blood, they take the plasma, and then they put the blood back.
Yeah,
so you're not selling your blood.
Nonsense.
Yeah. But
here's the weird thing, though.
But don't hospitals like sell people the blood that people donate?
That's an interesting question. I read an article about a guy who got his foot amputated and then he ate it with his friends.
Was it good?
They said it was fine. It was seasoned well, so.
Dude. Wait. So he kept, like, you're allowed to keep your own body parts, right?
Yeah,
like, why not?
yeah. Like, he was like, so basically he was in a motorcycle accident, and he got his, he like, they're like, yo, we gotta chop your foot off, buddy. And he was like, no, can I keep it? And they're like, no. And he was like, please? And they're like, and like you had to jump through you had to jump through a couple of hoops.
You had to hop through a couple hoops.
He's just hopping around. I imagine like some people with hula hoops, and they're like, all right, if you can make it through 9, we'll give it to you. And he's like in a hospital gown, like, ah! Like, His leg is still bleeding because they haven't finished. He's like, I just want my foot back.
Yeah. So, but then his first thing is like, why not eat it?
Yeah. He was just like, yo, you're never going to have a better opportunity to eat human flesh, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. It's like we eat pigs.
Yeah. And
dogs, cats.
Some people do.
Like, we're not afraid to eat animals.
Yeah.
And meat.
Yeah.
And humans are meat.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not just eat us?
Yeah. There's a couple parasites you can get from eating human flesh. And I think
it's like
eating
mad cow disease.
Yeah. And eating brains will start to deteriorate your own brain for some reason. Like something about, so you start to go crazy if you eat human brain.
So I must have been, all this time I've been going crazy, I must have been eating human brain somehow.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I also heard that like there's weird stuff like biologically, like you were saying, like I believe that you would like lose your brain if you ate brain because it's like a defense mechanism for like, because since humans are social creatures, like we're not meant to eat each other, so we've evolved like these things to not eat each other, even though we're hungry.
Yeah. So like I think you can eat some parts probably kind of safely,
like
but
foot.
Like, apparently, like, but it's like pretty across the board not recommended for the most part, unless you're like, I don't know. There's like very certain things. Like the Donner Party was fine. I guess.
When they go to like a restaurant, it's like, oh, Donner like, party of 4, Donner party of 4. Oh,
new
it looks like looks like you guys ate already. There's only party of 2
now, actually.
Yeah. Party of 2.
Exactly. So cool. So you said you. Oh, what?
Another thing I was talking about. I don't know where I read this or if I'm making it up, but I heard that things that look like anatomy tend to help whatever anatomy that like looks like. So like if you cut open a carrot, it almost looks like an eye, and carrots are really good for eyes. And then there's like walnuts almost look like a brain, and they happen to be good for whatever brain does.
It's like just God was not very creative when he was coming. He was like, oh, I don't know, I'll give him a hint.
Yeah. No, seriously. And I heard there's more.
So like sausage is good for your like dick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all that's in. I can't even think of the blue pill. What's the blue pill?
Viagra.
Yeah, Viagra Falls.
Viagra Falls is just
or
filled
Viagra
with
Rises. Is that why it comes? Is that where Viagra comes from?
You mean Niagara Falls?
No, where does Viagra Falls come from? Or like where did Viagra come? Like what is Viagra? Is Via?
Well, because like
mean go?
Because now you're Latin? A viable young man with your or old man, but you're not a. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's like,
I don't know.
We could look it up.
We could just eat some Viagra instead. I don't know.
Imagine we just do a sketch idea, and all we do is we just eat too much Viagra, and then just compare penises for an entire.
It's not even a sketch. That's just what we're doing after the podcast.
Yeah, we're just like, it's a little uncomfortable. And someone's like, has it been 4 hours?
Someone call my doctor.
Yeah. And we're like, oh shit, Scotty doesn't have health insurance.
Oh God. Hopefully he could find a wife and quick.
Yeah.
Who already has health insurance.
Yeah. Or like I think I do have health insurance actually, but imagine I didn't. That would really make it awkward.
Nice. All right, you got a short idea. Wait, have we not gotten to one of your ideas yet?
No, not yet. No, we talked about eating people and
Viagra Falls.
All right, so I've got this one idea. It's a little out there. It's kind of sporadic, but this one, okay, so imagine this. This is kind of like two ideas merged into one. I'm not sure why I had this idea, but I just thought it was hilarious. So this guy's walking down the street, and then this gang pops out, and they're all like aggressively bird calling at him, and they're like, and he's like, oh no, that's yeah, oh no, not the bust 'em up boys and their signature bird call. Like and then the gang's like walking around him. They're like whipping out like switchblades,
binoculars.
And like one's got just a chain, and like one's got like just a sock full of butter. And they're like, he's like, oh no, and he's like, good thing I packed my lunch. And then it just says like that morning or something is like, and he's just packing his lunch, and so he's just got like he's like putting in some Fritos, and he's putting in some carrots, and he's got some like an apple, and then he's making a sandwich, and there's the bread, and then he puts down some mayo and gets some lettuce and puts in some fucking bologna, and then he just puts in a fist and he just puts on the top of the bread. and then it just cuts back and it's like have some punch, and it's just like he opens his lunchbox and a fist shoots out and just like knocks out the head bust him up boy. Anyway, this can be split up if needed, but like and then like there's someone else who's just got some really long like backstory for his like like I don't remember any. Is like, and then someone's like, oh yeah, and then it like just cuts to him like taking a banana and unpeeling it, and then like throwing out the like normal banana, and he's like, well, I'll give him the slip, and he just like throws down a banana peel. And it's just like a couple of those that's all I've got really for that. And it's just like these guys are having like a fight, but there's like really building up these like one-liners as they attack each other.
I love it. I kind of want him to get a cheese grater and to just be like putting it on his sandwich.
Yeah.
And he's grating his like fist knuckles on the sandwich. And he's like, how's this for a knuckle sandwich? Boom.
He just grabs some chili and he just puts it in some soup, and he's like, be careful, it's hot, and it's got a bit of a kick, and he just kicks a guy. So
oh my god, like I love how it starts with like these like bird calls, and you're like, where's the pun gonna be like with these bird calls or whatever, and it just never comes back.
I don't know what I was saying. Yeah, we could honestly we use the bird calls somewhere else.
No, we keep the bird calls, Scotty.
Okay. But like, yeah, I was mostly just, the idea is like it's devolving into this like crazy action fight where they like really spent a lot of time building up this one pun.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's
do the gang have their own too?
Yeah, like I guess like one of them would be like it's like, oh, like to block someone, like it's like there's someone's fist is coming away, and then they're just like, oh yeah, well apple a day keeps the doctor away, and he just punches the apple out of his hand, and he's like, oh, I missed like my punch, or like I don't know, something stupid.
I think they should write down like a username and a password and then put it in like one of those metal lunch boxes, and then it's just like an online code to lynda.com, and he smacks him. He's like, that'll teach you.
Wait, what's he doing with an online code to lynda.com?
Exactly. It's just...
that'll teach you. That's good. That's good. We should get some sponsorship.
Oh yeah, lynda.com, hit us up. We are very family friendly, as you can tell.
Yeah,
talk about beating the shit out of people, about eating people, about Viagra.
Do we ever have like not like family friendly ideas? Hold on,
let's have one.
All right, do you have one?
Actually, my next one is actually rated PG, probably.
Oh, wow, fantastic! All right, let's hear it.
Maybe.
All right.
So this again once comes from a place of video games and pizza.
Sure. All right. So we're having video games and pizza.
We're playing some pizza, eating some video games, and Paul and Scotty are sitting playing Mario Kart, having pizza. There's still one piece left on Scotty's plate.
Okay.
Scotty, hey, Paul, could I try that good controller? Because I think that's the reason I'm like losing. This controller sucks.
Yeah.
And I just roll my eyes. Yeah, I might give it to me if you'd give me your pizza. And then Scotty's like, oh, yeah, sure, man. Hands over the pizza, and I get like really happy, and I just eat it. It's really good, and then
you just like eat it in like fast motion.
Yeah, just love it. Really good. Cuts to Paul and Scotty walking out of the mall, bag in hand, laughing, having fun. Paul says, "Hey man, dibs on playing this game first. Too bad it's only one player, but since I'm calling dibs, I'll play it first, and then when I'm done with it, you can play."
Yeah.
Scotty says, fair. Dibs is dibs, but could I play it first if, let's say, I give you a slice of pizza? And then I kind of like chuckle and I'm like, yeah, I mean, that would be, pretty good. But where would you find Scotty pulls out crumpled pizza from jean pocket, offers it to Paul. And I go like, oh. And then I take it. Like, I'm not like grossed
you're just
out.
like, well, that's fine.
I'm like, yeah, like I'll totally take it. And then I just eat this nasty pizza. Cut to Scotty and Paul in hot tub, joking around, having fun. Scotty, oh crap, dude, I think we forgot towels to dry off when we're done. I'm like, no, man, I remembered mine. Scotty's like, well, would you give me yours? I'm like, no way, dude. Scotty, not even for, don't you do it, Scotty. A slice of pizza?
It's just dripping.
Yeah. You pull it out of your swim trunks and it's just soggy and dripping. And I'm like, I snagged the pizza.
Just like, we got to film you eating this soggy piece of pizza.
Like all the bread's like sticking to my teeth.
Oh.
And then the next one.
Oh no.
Next one. Cuts to Scotty and Paul at a venture capitalist meeting. Guy with a foreign accent. And I guess I don't know what accent I had in mind. Just like, I'm so sorry, fellas. I'm afraid we can't do business. Your pitch is very promising, yet there is something I cannot get over. And this is me talking. And what's that, sir? If you don't mind me asking. In my country, business is number one, most important. But hospitality is number one when it comes to business. I want to do a deal, yet on an empty stomach I cannot. What I would do for an American burger or, hell, even a slice of pizza. Paul's eyes lights up, looks over at Scotty. Scotty's like looking at me like confused. I like nudge my head like, come on, dude, like give him some pizza. And Scotty's like, what are you talking about? I'm like what? And then like he's like starts to worry, and Scotty's like, oh, I'm sorry about that, sir. There's like a McDonald's down the street you could try or something. And then the guy just like puts his head down. He walks out disappointed. And Paul, I just fall to my desk. I'm like, oh man,
you didn't have a slice of
I'm like, man, that was a multi-million-dollar deal we just missed out on. It's the worst day of my life. Donk, like bang my head on the table. And I'm like, the deal could have worked, man. It was so close if you would have just given him. Scotty says, shh, I know exactly what you need. He reaches into pants. I said, Paul's like, no, Scotty, it's too late. Forget about it. He pulls out a napkin and he gives it to me. And I wipe my tears. And then he says, you just need a good friendship. And we hug. And then like I'm crying. Like we hug and we see my face from behind Scotty and I'm crying.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the opposite side where we see Scotty's face and he has a pizza and he just eats it as I'm crying in his arms.
I have so many pizza shirts. Like like we could really, really enhance this sketch.
This was the one I didn't finish the ending. Like that was like my ending was like right before I pull out like a napkin because I like it where it's like, you pull out a pizza from your pocket, which is gross, but then how do we up that? And it's like, oh, you pull it out of a hot tub. That's way gross.
Yeah.
But then they're thinking like you pull it out of like a dead corpse or like something disgusting, like awful. But like instead, I want him to not pull out a pizza. Like I like that. So I try to come up with a situation. Yeah, a situation where a pizza is required and he doesn't pull it out.
All right.
And then a pizza, and then a problem where he pulls it out and eats it himself. So I tried to like put like some of everything in there.
I like that. I think that could really go far.
My tummy just went like when I heard pizza.
Speaking of So that's the end. I don't want to.
That's the end.
Cut
Well,
off.
yeah,
Okay.
my only other idea for like an ending was like Scotty sitting at home alone, and there's like the doorbell rings, and he opens it, and there's this box at his door,
Yeah,
and it's just these videotapes, and Paul was like kidnapped in some foreign country,
yeah,
and they're holding him like hostage
yeah.
for pizza, and Scotty is just like eating a whole pizza on himself while watching the movie, and he doesn't realize it's not a movie, and he's just like eating his pizza, enjoying it. Like that's the only other thing I had. Like,
here's an idea. So you're like, hey, it's my first day of my new job, and you leave. And then like I'm like, cool, and I'm like, I'm kind of hungry, so I'm like, all right, it's time for me to order some food, I guess. So I like call and I order a pizza, and then you show up and you're like, yeah, I'm a pizza delivery man, and I'm like, I know, and you're like, oh shoot, it's my first day, I think I forgot your pizza, and I just pull out a slice of pizza and I say, thanks, Paul, and I just start eating it.
oh my god, I have no idea, dude. What?
Like I ordered pizza from you, but then like
there was no.
I had my own pizza anyway, and I didn't need it. I just did it to be nice, I guess.
Oh my god! Didn't you give me a good tip?
Yeah, I'm like, here's your
day?
tip though, because you know.
Oh my god! Yeah, I was trying to think. Like, I don't know if it's funnier to do.
I don't know. Yeah, that's
like I love turning the tables on things, so it's like I like the idea of him having so much pizza and then like kind of I don't know, like a pizza philanthropist almost, like
and just give away pizza.
Yeah, well, like I had another kind of thought when I was trying to develop it, and this, by the way, both of these ideas I've had just came from like. I just kind of like scrapped them together because this is like the second podcast in a week I've done, and I was fresh out of all ideas.
Yeah.
So, but if like I had an idea, like they were at a huge like that's why it was a venture capitalist meeting, was like Paul was trying to market Scotty as this pizza producing machine.
Oh, that's good.
Like he was like, we can end the world of hunger. Scotty, show him, and he pulls like a pizza out of his armpit or something. And then but then I like the idea of that, like we're just both like rich venture capitalists, and we don't see that part of our lives until we're there.
Yeah.
Like we just hang out and like chill in the hot tub and play video games, but we're like these high end businessmen.
You just didn't realize, like, oh yeah, now for my like day job.
Yeah. So I thought that aspect was funny. But yeah, there was something I was thinking about with trying to market Scotty as a pizza producer.
Or like, what if it's like I'm always just pulling pizza out from behind my ear, and we're like, dude, we got to make money off of this. I'm like, make money off of what? As I just pull another slice out and just continue eating. And we're like, dude, like you're an unending supply of pizza. And I'm just like, what do you mean? As I'm like eating a third slice, and like someone else's arm is holding the third. So it's just like I've got 3 arms just eating pizza, like up.
I just want Scotty to pitch a bunch of ideas that relate to Scotty eating pizza, just so we could film it with Scotty eating just a bunch of pizza.
Just like, oh man, I was like, and then there's like I'm just like in India or something, and like I'm just imagining like they're just like one of the like I've just got like 30 arms, and they're like, whoa, that guy's got like 30 slices of pizza, and they're like, huh, okay, like they just don't care. Like it's like everyone thought it was a setup for like some sort of like potentially like joke that like may not have gone over well, but like it's just like
with like Ganesh or something.
Yeah, because like it was just like we're like walking by all these like really like beautiful like statues of like these like amazing like gods with all these arms, and I've just got like 32 arms just eating pizza. But like no one's, they're like, oh,
that guy must like pizza.
Yeah, they don't say anything else. They're like, and they're like, hey, are you seeing this? And they're like, yeah, he's got a lot of pizza. Like, I'd like a slice. And I say, oh yeah, and I just like reach one of my like arms over. They're like, thanks, and they just like eat it out of my hand.
I wish we could do like Mr. Fantastic special effects with like stretchy arms. Actually, if we do it on a green screen, we probably could.
Yeah, or we could just animate like an arm, or like just have an arm and then like just kind of like wiggle it with like
I mean, on a green screen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it wouldn't be too hard, really.
Yeah, and it'd be accurate to like my special superpower that I can't reveal. So we'd have to do it through special effects. Wink, wink.
Wink. I don't know what this superpower is.
It's just the stretchy arms for pizza. It's like the idea, like if whoever superhero like to have an excuse to use his powers, but has to like still hide them. So we have to use the special effects to conceal it, even though I can really do that. That's so fucking stupid.
What if you're just like you're like trying to wear a normal shirt and you got like 13 arms all in each sleeve?
We can make a Pork and Beans by Weezer music video remake with just a fat guy. Have you seen that video?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my god! Do you have any other ideas, Scotty?
Yes, I do. I've got another one.
Let's do one more and wrap this guy up.
One more fantastic. Okay, so this one's based on a different idea. I was in a 48-hour film. I forgot to mention this. I was in a 48-hour film recently. Yay! It existed. It was fine. It was actually super fun. But in it there was a joke that I really, really wanted to use.
Let's steal it.
That we didn't. Yeah. So I'm just gonna propose this new idea that has like very little to do with the original 48-hour film.
Okay.
But in it, there's a guy with just this huge, really gross, garish underbite, and it's like, and he's like, oh, I'm so lonely, and his friend's like, don't worry. I'll set you up on a blind date. I think I know just the person. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And then I go on this date. So I'm talking to this girl and I'm like having a hard time talking with my like giant underbite. And she's like, okay. And I like can't eat because like my underbite's too bad. And then I'm trying to drink water and like I'm spilling it all over myself.
Hot soup.
Yeah. But like somehow this girl's just still into it. And then and like at the end of the date we're like, all right, well, and like we go in for a kiss and I'm like, and she's just like, and then I'm like we kind of miss because like my underbite's so bad. I'm like, oh wait, and I just spit out these like fake teeth. And then I like go in for a kiss again. She's like, wait.
And she doesn't like you now?
Yeah, she's just like, I thought you're...
I have to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was real. And that's just the end of the video.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like still alone.
Like, and then you're like going to like edit your Tinder profile and like you have all those pictures of like the teeth in, and then you're like sadly swapping them out for normal pictures, and then like you just don't get any more notifications.
Like, that's it. That was my one chance for love. She loved me for my teeth.
Guys only want one thing, it's disgusting. Girls only want one thing, it's disgusting.
It's just my teeth.
I'm trying to think if there's like some sort of application for those teeth.
like
that
I'm like a letter opener. Like I can just open your letters.
Yeah, dude, like you're really useful somehow. And you're like really productive. Or like you I don't fucking know.
Yeah, and it's just like, and then I don't know. It's like all I got.
I like the idea of just him being like accepting his fate as being ugly by being a normal person, like without those teeth.
Yeah, like no one's into me anymore. Like, what if there was like a couple like people who are like, oh wow, look at that sexy guy, and then they're like, maybe without the teeth. And finally, like when I have the teeth, they're like, I kind of liked him with the teeth.
It's like, oh shit, have you seen the movie The Unknown?
No.
This is very obscure, okay. But it's
is like it unknown?
It's unknown to many people. It's like a Lon Chaney movie from like the 30s.
All right, I like it already.
And he's in the circus, and this is a very good movie, by the way. So if you're like interested, I'm going to spoil like some of the things.
I'll cover my ears.
Yeah, you can with the headphones on. Stuff. But I'll just give like the first idea of the premise, where it's like Lon Chaney is like in this circus as a, he's like a freak, like without arms. So he's like really good with his feet. Like he can like light cigarettes with his feet and put his like do everything with his feet because he has no arms.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in love with the beautiful lady that can like sing or whatever. But the strong man in the circus, like, is always groping the lady and trying to get with her.
Yeah.
And the lady always comes to Lon Chaney to, like, be consoled and stuff. Like, oh, all men want to do is grope me. It's disgusting. You're special because you can't. Like, like, he has no arms.
You literally cannot grope me.
And so, like, she hugs him and she was like, if only you were, like, normal, we can have, you know, like, a normal life or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, shit. And then he, like, goes back to his trailer. He takes off his shirt and he's wearing a straitjacket. And he takes off his straitjacket.
Does this one actually happens?
Yes, and he really has arms. So now he's like, well, because he was afraid when she hugged him, because he was afraid she would feel his arms. So he chops off his arms so that this girl, so that he would be the girl that she was expecting.
The guy, you mean she was expecting?
The guy she was expecting.
He chops off his arms and something else.
Yeah, well, so he chops off his arms and he's like, okay, and then he goes up to the girl now and was like, hey, like, I'm ready to be with you now. And she's with the big strong guy because he can pick her up and, like, make her feel, I don't know, like, it's just like one of those things where, and then she would come to him and be like, oh, Alonzo, he makes me feel like so in love. Like, he's literally swoops me off my feet with his arms and he picks me up and he's sitting there without arms. He's like, oh my fucking God, I swear to Christ. It's like, it's a really, really good movie. And it's like, it's one of those, like, brutal, dramatic, awful.
That reminds me of a commercial I saw for a movie once. And so there's this, like, condition where you have body
dysmorphia,
but just with, like, your arm or your leg or something. And so I saw a commercial for a film before something else that was really bad, and I still think about this because I was so disturbed by it. But as this guy is just, like, going through life trying to find someone who's willing to amputate his arm and then sew it back on. And that's just, like, the whole movie.
Oh,
and
my God.
Like, fuck, I don't want to watch that, but I cannot stop thinking about it.
Dude, what is this called? Do you know?
So I'll look it up because it was in the commercial for this film named Gut, which I have a long list of things I don't like about that movie. But, like, it's a very interesting film it's like a snuff film type film, but it's not a snuff film. Whatever. But yeah, I'll look it up. I'll just watch Gut again.
Okay.
It was so bad I don't want to watch it. But I'll do it for you.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
All right, you got anything else? We can wrap this puppy up.
I think this bad boy.
We just get a puppy and wrap him up in Christmas wrapping.
It's just wrapped into a burrito, and we, like, leave it on the table. Someone's like, "Oh, sweet, a burrito," and you just hear a bark as they bite into it.
It's more bark than bite, really.
And that's a puppy that's been wrapped up.
All right, fellas, this is a wrap. Stay tuned for. Maybe we'll just end this podcast after this atrocity.
No.
See you guys next week, maybe.
Bye.